basically means nothing, with characters shuffling off and then shuffling back on the mortal coil with gay abandon. There used to be a famous expression about comic book death. The only people who stay dead in comics are Bucky, Jason Todd, and Uncle Ben. Since that expression has become popular, both Bucky and Jason Todd have come back to life. Fantastic. Unlike their source material, death in comic book movies is a pretty permanent thing. For the most part, dead is dead, and unfortunately, that means that deaths written for effect can often be all too permanent, robbing fans of the opportunity to see more of great characters. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and this is 10 comic book movie characters who were killed way too soon. Number 10, Darwin, X-Men First Class. The problems with the decision to kill evolving mutant Darwin are twofold. Firstly, and probably most frustratingly, it falls into the old tired movie cliche, take it away Orlando Jones from the movie Evolution.
I seen this movie, the black dude dies first, you snagging.
Secondly, in purely narrative terms, Darwin's death doesn't really make sense.
Well, I adapt to survive.
He was introduced as being able to evolve to cope with anything. Like, survival was the entire crux of his character. Killing him was basically impossible, right? Apparently not. Number 9, Ronan the Accuser, Guardians of the Galaxy. This death also sort of made no sense, as Ronan had literally already survived pretty much the exact thing that killed him. By the end of the movie, he's proven he's able to withstand the power of purple, or whatever it is that stone actually does. But seriously, how come forcing the same power through a filter makes it strong enough to kill him this time? The character was underused, underwritten, and perhaps future Guardians movies could have fleshed him out the same way Loki was given more time in later Thor movies. He was only sort of in a few scenes and then he's gone forever. Number 8, Norman Osborn, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Even though there were hints that Norman Osborn might return in the planned Amazing Spider-Man sequels, his death felt like it robbed Sony's failed franchise of a real Green Goblin. We were instead left with an emo imposter with bad teeth and, well, eczema, who somehow survived the same disease that killed his father, thanks to a cure his father developed, but then didn't use to save his life because he was already a bit too goblin. Like his hands were a bit spooky wooky. Too much? Anyway, he's dead, robbing the franchise of some much-needed Chris Cooper. Number 7, Red Skull, Captain America. Taking away Red Skull blunts Cap the same way that removing the Joker takes something away from Batman. The two seem destined to do this forever. After all, they're polar opposites of each other. Red Skull hates having skin on his face. Captain America quite enjoys it. Red Skull looks good in black. Cap doesn't have the body shape to pull it off. Red Skull is a noted Nazi enthusiast. Captain America is undecided on that issue. It seems like they should be nemesis for years, and well, he could be back in the MCU since there was never a body to bury, but he should already be around, pulling strings from the shadows instead of Hydra being a rudderless Nazi stand-in. Number 6, Ra's al Ghul, Batman Begins. The Lazarus Pits exist in the Bat universe and are noted for their powers of resurrection and also looking like big vats of Mountain Dew. Now, while they may not fit Nolan's more realistic Batman universe to have immortal characters, it is also a fact that David Goyer and the Nolans seem not to care about the odd plot hole in the final Dark Knight movie, so a bit of the supernatural might have made a more fitting nod to the source material. Plus, having a more traditional take on the League of Shadows leader would have been a bit more fitting than having him appear as just a plot-developing hallucination that basically allowed Bruce Wayne to learn helpful facts from his own imagination. Number 5, Quicksilver, Age of Ultron. The twins, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, made their official Avengers debut in Age of Ultron, and by the end of the film, the twins had suffered a reduction of 50%. While Quickie pulling a permanent sickie was a shocking twist, mostly because of Hawkeye carrying around a huge neon sign saying, "I will die, look, here's another scene with my family that will miss me when I die." And while wrong-footing the audience was clever, there was so much more left to do with Pietro. His powers looked great on screen, Aaron Johnson was great in the role, and his hair was... well, actually, that was... oh... Number 4, Two-Face, The Dark Knight. Despite The Dark Knight's ending pretty definitively killing Two-Face, fans were so bowled over by his short, explosive performance that they held on to the faintest glimmer of hope that he might have somehow survived. That alone is proof that he was offed way too soon, and the constant rumours that Two-Face was somehow alive in The Dark Knight Rises forced filmmakers to come out with a statement of his death certificate just to end that hope. Number 3, Electro, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. How do you even kill electricity? Number 2, The Joker, Batman. Famously, the Batman comics almost killed the Joker after his first appearance, only to see the light and save him to become a key player. Tim Burton should have done the same thing. Burton's vision for Batman might have been perfectly pitched, but the decision to kill the Dark Knight's single most enduring villain was a bit short-sighted, and it would later bite Joel Schumacher hard on the bum, because without the Joker as a continued presence, the initial Batman franchise had to rely on increasingly poorer villain choices. Cue the ice puns.
All right, everyone, chill.
And number 1, the Mandarin, Iron Man 3. It's all well and good having Trevor Slattery as an imposter and revealing that the real villain of the piece is Killian looking to gain financially out of terrorism. It's even fine to have him be a genuine, super-powered villain with his weird fire thing. And, you know, maybe it was a good idea to not have the real Mandarin, you know, look like this and talk like this.
I'm gonna shoot him in the head.
Because it's a bit racist. But that being said, killing Killian and therefore killing off the real Mandarin, it did mean killing off the biggest and most enduring villain in Iron Man's franchise, which may very well come back to haunt Marvel, you know, if they ever raise enough money to convince Robert Downey Jr. to come back. And that's all the money. That is all the money in the world.